Joining me now on In Conversation with is Ed from Motor Radar. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm really good. Thanks for joining me.
That's right. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So the idea about these kind of interviews is just to kind of give a bit of background about your band. And obviously it's not just you.
No, we are a collective of many musicians, all four of us.
So you're a four-piece. So
yeah,
what's your role in the band?
So my role is, how can I describe myself? I'm the lead enthusiast. I'm the guy who does all the shouting at the front. I also play rhythm guitar, and I tend to come up with all the stupid ideas that I usually shot down. So
Oh, I love that. So you play guitar and you sing?
Yep.
Awesome. So who else is in the band?
So we have Paul, who is the fantastic drummer. He's been an absolute god, particularly during lockdown and stuff. He's just been sending me drum loops. We've been doing stuff together. He's amazing. We've got Mick, who's the bassist, who again, fantastic musician. And we've got Chris, who is the lead guitarist, who is a dream, because you can literally give him something and say, learn it, and he'll come back an hour later and go, I've got it. And he's like, oh, how? I don't understand.
I hate people like that. Well, so how long have you been together?
So we've been together as Motor Radar since late 2019, but we have done loads. We've moved and mixed in between various things, professional and amateur. I was in a prog band with Chris. I've done a couple of theatre shows with Mick. Playing in the band together. Chris Chris was in the prog band with me, and then Paul, I met him through our wives are friends, which is very nice, and we all just kind of it was like 2019 was coming to an end. We were kind of bored with the stuff we were doing, the professional stuff, and we were like, there's no funny bands around. There's no one that, in the olden days, the bands like the Kinks could write a song called Monkey Man, and it would just be, or a dedicated follower of fashion, or you got things like you got Flight of the Conchords that are really popular. Bands have lost their sense of what's funny, and everyone's become so serious as things have become more mainstream in an industry. Everyone's looking mean and wearing hoodies and trying to be cool, but no one's cool.
I kind of get where you're coming from, though. You know, for me, those kind of songs stand out, don't they, because of that reason?
They do. I think it's a thing that's really underutilized, but the word that I use when I describe the British is eccentricity. We are an eccentric nation. People look at us around the world, they go, why do men dress as women on stage? Why do you have these strange quirks? Why do you eat eels with things? Why do you follow Her Royal Majesty, bless her heart? why is she such a figure? Why do you drink tea? Why do you do these things? Why do you see Mr. Bean as a sort of a demigod? It's like, just British.
It's so
like Rowan Atkinson's is amazing. Monty Python, people, artists around the world describe Monty Python as a revelation. You just think it's pretty normal for a British person to put on a skirt and make fun of someone. It is us. It's in our core. It's in our nationality. It's in our it's what we're about. And I think that, but by trying to be more proper and trying to be more part of the industry, you kind of lose that British essence, the thing that makes us look at ourselves and not take ourselves too seriously. And that's kind of the message that we're trying to get out.
I like that. So when you're writing your songs as a band, how does it work for you? Does somebody come up with a riff, or do you have some lyrics, or do you have an idea and just kind of go from there? How does it work?
So we do a couple of different things. We sometimes we literally meet together and we workshop a song. Someone will come up with a riff or something. We'll do a couple of bits and pieces. Hotel Road, which is one of our more popular tracks, we actually wrote literally at rehearsal. We turned up, put a couple of chords together, and that was it. A lot of the time we'll come up with a song and I'll just hum a sort of a manic tune like a madman with no real words. I'll kind of go, and then I'll go home, I'll record it, and then I'll come back a week later and I'll go, do you know that weird humming that I did? It's got words now. And they'll go, oh yeah, what's it about? And I'll go, it's about shampoo in the bath. It's called Mr. Matey. And they go, why have you done that? And I go, yeah, needed something to do.
I love that.
But, that's kind of our process.
Everyone's writing is different, and I just love that. Every person I speak to have a different stance on it. Where do your influences lie then? You know, great British rock bands, or are we looking, are you all kind of different in terms of what you listen to?
So yeah, we all come from different backgrounds. Paul is through and through a rock and prog guy. He's got some brilliant influences that he tends to bring in. Chris is more mainstream rock, things like the Foo Fighters, that sort of thing. Mix a bit of everything. He's a big fan of old school punk, but as far as I'm concerned, kind of yeah, any British rock band that kind of the sort of the roots band, the band that played in a couple of pubs, went on a tour once in the 70s and just became a big thing. There's a lot of there's a lot of random like little bands. No, so it's a band called the Mac Lads, for instance. They're they're from Macclesfield, a northern band, and they had horrific songs about really disgusting lyrics. And they're a funny band. They got to a certain level, and then they were like, these can't go mainstream. They're just like, no. It was like the BBC's worst. I mean, it's pretty bad now for getting on it, but it was even worse then. And just someone that didn't fit the image. And I look at a lot of parody bands, things like Bad News.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of them. They're it was the Rick Mail band that they did that comedy series. They're a big again, just taking the comedy into the act. I think people forget that it's entertainment as well as music.
Yeah.
So you can stand on stage and look at your feet, but coming from like a more of a theatre background, I just think there's a whole part of the show that people are missing out on, and with very little effort. We like to put in 110%, obviously, most things, but with very little effort, you can make an all right show into an amazing show just by knowing what you want to do and getting it across to people.
Yeah. So what kind of venues do you play?
So at the moment, what with lockdown being so fantastic, we've literally done a couple of mini like very small festival things. We're talking about friends of friends sort of venues, but we're already getting booked in. I mean, we're lucky that because we've got quite strong influences anyway, we know a lot of people in the area, we're starting to get really involved in the scene coming out of it. So we're already getting stuff for the Forum, getting a couple of Tunbridge Wells events here and there. So we're just we're kind of at that step where we're going, we want to get a couple more festivals under our belt, but there's that magic thing, you go from pub band, and then unless you've got a company behind you, at a certain point you stop being unsigned. And we're just trying to navigate that, getting more festivals and more larger dates without coming under a larger umbrella as a company with someone else. Because I don't know who we'd go under. No normal company would have us. We're just too strange. But I think it's a good thing.
Do you know what? I probably know somebody that would look after you, and I'll let you know who that might be after. I have an idea in my head. But yeah, no, lockdown's been really tough. How's it been for you? Have you been writing throughout? Have you done any like remote recording or anything?
So yeah, we have. It's been up and down. I think with most people, really, you get the morale starts to go up as you start to think you're going to leave lockdown, and then you go back into it again. We pretty much had the first album ready to go when we went into the original lockdown, so it kind of gave us a reason to actually get it recorded, which was really beneficial. And as lockdown's gone on, we've become more honed in our skill of recording remotely. Basically, you just need to know what to send to each other, because everyone just sends a sound, like an audio file to each other. They're all different lengths, all different things. Someone's recorded it through a microphone jack in their laptop, and it sounds like someone else has got like me, have got this ridiculous mic setup, and you end up with this kind of weird garage band professional sound, which just doesn't work. So we've become very good, very fast at something that most people would never have to do. But you make the best of a bad situation, really. We don't have the money or the means to do anything like to rent a cottage in the middle of the Cotswolds, so we have to do what we can. No, for some people they've literally taken a break because they've just found that too difficult. Social media is obviously plays a massive part in I think the music industry now. Is that something that you're using to your advantage? Yeah, we're trying to. It's really bad. I'm really bad at showing my age of social media, because I'm actually semi-young, but I have the social media presence of an 80-year-old grandmother that you see post on a thing going, "That's very nice, dear, I enjoyed that." And it's like, oh no, Instagram baffles me. I try my best, and it's just so bad. I know there are social media gurus out there who would hear this and be disgusted and just say, just give me your passwords and we'll do it for you. And it's like, well, I know, but I have to learn these things, and I know how to do it. It's just, yeah, we are. People think we're good at it, which is hilarious, because I definitely think we could do better, but there is no other means to get out there. Social media has become such a necessity that ignoring it, you're ignoring 70, if not 80% of your audience. I mean,
Yeah.
I imagine I wouldn't be here on this radio show right now if it wasn't for social media. So
yeah,
it has
exactly
some
that.
advantages.
Exactly that. And that's what I was going to say. We wouldn't have connected without it. And I think a lot of people and a lot of music management companies, a lot of PR teams do go, oh, what's their socials like? What's their social media content like? What are their, how many followers have they got? And although that is like really shallow, I think it's a good way of gauging an artist or a band.
It definitely shows I think it's a good way to show willingness. If someone's willing to put the effort in to put out a post every week, even if it is, if you look at some of the tat we put out there, it's pretty good evidence. Just showing a willingness to try new stuff. I mean, I know bands personally whose Facebook page is private, their band page, and you can't message or tag them in anything, and they only post on there once every 3 years, and they can't understand why they can't get gigs. It's like, a venue hears about your band. What's the first thing I do? If I was a venue, I'd go, okay, Motivated wants to play. Google. Yeah. First few days, I mean, everyone Googles. I know other brands are available. You can't even call it Google. I'd use a search engine to find the band, and our website comes up straight away. Instagram, Facebook. If you're missing that out, I mean, it's like people who don't put their music online to be listened to. I mean, it's like we only do physical releases. It's like, why? It's 2021. I mean, physical media hasn't been relevant. I mean, ask anyone under the age of 18 if they even own something that can play a CD. Exactly. Laptops don't play them anymore. Consoles don't have CD trays, and
I totally appreciate old school. I totally appreciate a CD, and I totally appreciate going into a venue saying, look, let us play. But you've got to go with the times. You've got to go with what's in front of you, and it's such a good tool. And it's free a lot of the time as well. You don't have to pay that much for it. So it's really good. So I'm hoping that your Facebook posts, they could be anything, really stupid. People love that.
Absolutely, and we're lucky because we're a more comedy band anyway. We can get away with just putting a picture of us in a Christmas jumper in July and saying,
yeah, exactly that. Roll on turkey. So where can people find out about you, Ed?
So as I said, you can go to our website, motorradio.co.uk. You can check all the usual streaming platforms. We're on iTunes, we're on Spotify, Amazon Music, all the various places. You type in Motorradio, it will come up. You can usually find us because our band logo is Skull and Crossbones. As you can see, I didn't plan to wear a t-shirt. I know, by pure chance, there's just no other washing in the house. Very rock and roll, isn't it? Yes, I've got the t-shirt on. Search for the Motorradio logo. We're on there. If you've got on our website, we've got links to streaming things on there. We've also got we recorded a live show back in Halloween last year because we're supposed to play at a venue. It fell through, so we're like, right, we've put a set together. Let's just record it. So we did. And there's some interesting bits. And at one point, I get an electric drill out, and I play the guitar with a Mr. Matey bottle. So that's literally, I don't know how I can explain it any better, but you have to actually physically watch it. The drill is now broken, as is the Mr. Matey bottle. So it's planned. We are planning to do it again live, but I need to get a new drill and I have to buy some more Mr. Matey bottles and find a better way to stick it onto the drill because drills spin really fast. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, they do.
They're not designed to hold a Mr. Matey bottle that's been really poorly. I didn't even have super glue. I used wood glue. That's such a why? It's never going to work. So it spun and it broke. And the drill overheated.
So much effort into it, though. That's what it's all about.
Well, exactly. I was saying to the guys, as a bit of a running joke, I was like, we've got a song called Mr. Matey. We have to somehow involve a Mr. Matey bottle in it. And they're like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, and I thought, oh, one day there's it's something that's been done before. People have used picks on electric drills. It's kind of a known thing. And I was like, well, let's do a spin on it because everything's been done before. Who has ever attached a Mr. Matey bottle to a drill? Like no one. I mean, if they have, Simpsons have probably done it, haven't they? They've done everything. Homer in one episode. Yeah, so just trying to keep it different.
I love that. I love that. I'm looking forward to seeing it. One thing I have really missed is seeing bands. I'm looking forward to coming to see you play at some point.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be
I'll
so
make sure I bring the drill.
I definitely have to come to the drill one. I need to see that with my own eyes. Ed, thank you so much for joining me. It's been an absolute blast.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's been lovely.
You're welcome. And hopefully next time all the rest of the band will be able to join us as well.
Yes, then I won't be able to get a word in edgeways, so it'll be nice. I'll let Paul do the chatting for a bit.
Take care and stay safe. Love to all the lads.
And you. Bye.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.